It came about as a result of when Skin did a tour, we asked Matty Alfonsetti, who was the singer of a band that I used to be in called Jagged Edge, if he'd like to come over and open for us acoustically, which he agreed to do. And he played 6 shows with us. It was the tour that we did in December, and we all got ill. But I hadn't seen Matty for like 17 years. And so the reconnection was made, and we were just hanging out in dressing rooms and sound checks, just playing. And I got up and played a couple of Jagged Edge songs with him during his set. And then we just sort of started playing. And because I'd kind of like continued to write, knowing that Skin was coming to, originally we were only going to do Skin for 2 weeks, but it all went on for 18 months. But I just carried on writing. And so originally I was thinking, well, who am I going to get to sing this? And I had various people in mind, and I sort of asked Matty if he'd like to come over and just hear a few things, thinking that maybe he would sing on one track and whatever. But I played him about 50 ideas, and he picked out about 15 things that he liked, and then there it was. It was like a band was there, and that happened in May of last year. And then we basically did our first show about 6 weeks later. Maybe a little bit less, and then it's just kind of snowballed, really. Yeah, A Little Too Late is my favorite song on the record, only because it's a very personal song, and he just sung it amazing. He sung it pretty much in one go, and it was we demoed all the songs in Sweden in Matty's studio. And then when we went to redo it, as in like the proper album, we just couldn't capture what happened on the demo. So we actually ended up using the demo on the album. It was the only one that we just couldn't sort of take to a higher level, because he just kind of nailed it first time, really. Well, it's because we're an unsigned band, and it's very hard to get a band out there when you don't have a record company sort of pulling all the favors for you, because I mean the music industry is run upon favors. It's if you want to get tours, and it's because you're linked to a record label or you're linked to a manager. It's all about who you know, and so we're kind of like by ourselves a little bit, just sort of floundering out there, desperately trying to get some sort of form of coverage, or just to make people aware of our music. And so when we got the shows with Whitesnake, that was incredible. It really came about purely by chance, because I'd finished the album. I sent a copy to Andy Copping, who's the vice president of Live Nation, just asking him what he thought of it. And so I sent him the CD, and I didn't hear anything back from him, so I assumed that he didn't like it. And then he called back a week later. He goes, "Oh, I got your CD. I really liked it." And I sent over some of the songs to David Coverdale, and would you like to do the shows with Whitesnake? It just literally came as like that. David Coverdale had heard it and liked it and said, "Yeah, we can do these shows." So that was amazing. And then literally as those shows was going on, because we were doing shows with the Choir Boys at the same time, Andy Coppin once again sort of said, "Oh, Chickenfoot are doing a couple shows in January. Would you like to do them? They're only doing 2 shows, so there's a possibility that you may be able to get the support." And total dream, because literally the first 2 albums I ever bought really were Van Halen 1 and Montrose, the first sort of Montrose album. So these were massive influences on me as a kid. And obviously Chickenfoot was made up of Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony. So we were reduced back to being 12-year-olds again. And so we went on to do our sound check, and like Michael Anthony, just walked on stage. "Hello, I'm Michael. Nice to have you on tour." And he was like, "Yeah, we know who you are. You really don't need to introduce yourself." But they were so nice, unbelievably nice. The crew were unbelievably nice. And the only one that we hadn't really spoken to in the course of the day was Joe Satriani, because he was practicing. You could just hear him practicing all day. And so we played our first show in Manchester, and then we literally come off stage because it went well. So we all sort of like congratulating each other. And Joe Satriani was standing on the side of the stage, waiting to, shake our hands and say well done, which was incredible. And so we thought maybe he just popped there for 30 seconds. And then my guitar roadie said, you know, he was there for like half the set. And so that was fantastic, overwhelming. And then the next day in London, we're doing our sound check, which is normally a very relaxed sort of environment. And I turned around to adjust something on my amp, and Joe Satriani is literally standing next to my rig. You know, the immense pressure that was suddenly bestowed upon me. But they were amazing. They were absolutely amazing. I've toured a lot, but the way we got treated by Chickenfoot was the best ever.